Hello everyone and welcome to Xeno's Nintendo Direct at E3 2021 Predictions Extravaganza. I am your host, Xeno, and today we are talking all predictions, all those things. I got some big ones. I'm excited. I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm really excited about today's video. Predictions are fun, and that's just all they're meant to be. I mean, look at my predictions from the beginning of this year video. Many of those are dead wrong. So, I mean, predictions are made to be broken, but it's still fun to do it and see if you can get anything to work out in your favor and if you're right at all. And sometimes you are, and it's just fun to think about the possibilities. You know, I always look at things this way, and I've said it many times before, but the journey is just as important as the destination, and for a lot of games, just finding out about them for the first time is ingrained in my memory more than actually playing them. So just for that reason, E3 is a very special time, and I'm ready to welcome it back with open arms. I am opening my arms. You guys cannot see that right now, but that's what I'm doing. So let's be a part of the process and let's start making some predictions. Let's try to figure out what we are going to be advertised next week before they can even advertise it to us. I want to start with a preface here because I will not be talking about every game that I think is going to be in this Direct. It is 40 minutes long. There's going to be a lot of stuff in here, probably a little bit of fluff as per usual, probably a little bit less because it is E3, but let's say like even third-party games like No More Heroes or Monster Hunter Stories 2, they're probably going to show up in this Direct, but I'm just not going to talk about them here today because frankly, we don't have time. I'd be here forever. So the February Direct this year did a pretty good job of setting up the first half of the year and a few other things that have yet to come out. So we know that a few of those are probably going to make an appearance here. I'm thinking Mario Golf, which comes out a week after the Direct, Skyward Sword that hits in July, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, and Arceus. It's a little up in the air if those two show up because Pokemon usually likes to do their own separate thing before E3, but they haven't announced anything yet, and I'm recording this the Tuesday before E3, like a literal week before E3, and they haven't announced anything, so we'll see. Maybe by the time this video comes out, that's outdated, but yeah, we'll see. Splatoon 3 is probably the biggest tangible thing on the horizon with the 2022 release date. I think that'll probably get a trailer in this Direct, maybe a story trailer, kind of like they did with the other two games. Project Triangle Strategy, I could see that going either way with the trailer. And then we have the classics, the ones that always show up at E3 and we have been waiting for years. Bayonetta 3, maybe. Or maybe Kamiya could just walk out on screen and say, Development is progressing smoothly. And Metroid Prime 4. No. So that's the stuff we know about, which actually isn't too bad. I mean, the second half of the year is still kind of a big blank, but that's what it's usually been before E3 in regular years, which we're kind of starting to see the return to a regular year this year, so yeah. But alas, E3 is nothing if not a good place to show off brand new games, which I think there might be just a good handful of some new announcements to be made at E3, which I don't think that's a very bold prediction. The bold part comes in trying to predict exactly what is going to happen. And to be honest with you, I feel like I've taken a more safe approach this year, and I'm actually really happy with my predictions, and I could see them actually being true. Like, I look at this list of predictions, and I'm like, this could actually, like, be the Direct. Now, of course, it's not going to be the Direct. I might get one or two right, but I don't have any insider information. I'm just going off of what other people say. And I also, even if I did have it right, I'm sure that Nintendo would find a way to change the schedule. Last split second, somehow they knew. They knew that my list was right, and they're like, no, we can't have that. No leaks. But anyway, enough of the rambling. Let's get into the predictions because I know you guys want to hear them. Let's start with the start of the Direct, which I think is going to be a Smash Bros. Character. We've had this for like, I think the past 2 years. It's just like, at this point, it's always been. As far as I'm concerned, modern Nintendo is always going to lead their E3 Direct with a Smash character reveal. And who is it going to be this time? To be honest with you, I forgot to write it down in my notes, and that kind of drives home the point. I have no idea, and I don't really care, because at this point we've had so many great characters. Just let Sakurai have a vacation. If I had to choose, though, I think I'm going to stick with two of my predictions from the beginning of the year, which was, I think, Crash Bandicoot. Crash needs to be in it. He's the last big icon. Like, we need someone for Sony, and Crash is kind of Sony, even though he's now Activision, so it kind of works. I think Crash is a good piece to fit in there. And let's say, let's bring it back, Waluigi. I know, but I think maybe I'd kind of love it, you know, to end it with Waluigi. It would be quite a way to end it. So we're going to start off with Smash, but then we're going to dive right into another brand new game announcement, which I think is going to be Fire Emblem Echoes. Fire Emblem Echoes what? that's a game that already came out? No, it wasn't. It was Shadows of Valentia. That was the subtitle. It was a whole weird thing. Like Fire Emblem Echoes was the name for the new series they were going to start of remaking Fire Emblem games, but they've only done one, and it's been such a long time. I think it's coming back this year. Three Houses did really well, and I think that the team on that, along with I think Koei Tecmo was working with them on it. They are probably making a sequel, but Intelligent System, they have worked like on multiple games at once, so I think that a remake of one of the classic Fire Emblem games could also be in the pipeline. I've heard rumors that are going with Genealogy of the Holy War as the one they think is going to be remade, and I'm going to say that I actually agree, and not just because of the rumors. From what I've heard, Genealogy is one of the most popular Fire Emblem games that never came out anywhere outside of Japan. Now, it is the fourth in the series, and we've already had remakes of Shadow Dragon and Gaiden, which would mean they're kind of skipping Mystery of the Emblem there, but I don't know. I feel like they're gonna do it. Genealogy of the Holy War. I just got a feeling about it, you know? And if not that, maybe it's Mystery of the Emblem. KIRBY! KIRBY is a series that never stops, and I don't think that it has in these past few years either. So our last mainline KIRBY game was Star Allies in 2018, and it's been a few years since then. Now, we've had all these reports about KIRBY doing a huge, like, step forward with the next game. It's going to be a whole new thing and everything. And I know that's what a lot of people would maybe be expecting this year. Maybe that is what they're going to show off. No, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be another year. But the thing is, in the meantime, I think we're gonna get another spin-off because KIRBY just absolutely freaking loves its spin-offs. The thing is, I don't know what that spin-off is going to be. I thought maybe like something brand new, which I can't really predict. I can try. KIRBY Golf. We need more golf games. Actually, KIRBY does have a golf game. KIRBY Dream Course 2. You guys heard it here first. E3, it's coming. Strap in and get ready to have your mind blown. Because actually, KIRBY Dream Course is a really fun game. And I would be totally down for a new sequel. I guess maybe Mario Golf would conflict with that a little bit. But to be honest with you, I would be more excited for a KIRBY Dream Course 2 than I am for Mario Golf. Now what you've all been waiting for. Nintendo has not given it the time of day whatsoever, but it is finally going to happen at E3. Zelda is going to get a spotlight for its anniversary, and it is going to get so much love in the form of a double pack of games that were already released on the Wii U. Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD double pack announced, $60 Wii U versions of the game just ported to Switch. I think that's what we're going to get. Kind of like 3D All-Stars, maybe even a little more lazy though. I think that's what's going to be the big anniversary game for Zelda this year, that and Skyward Sword, which was already announced, which we'll probably only get a mention of here. And I think that's going to be the Zelda 35th anniversary celebration. I know everyone's talking about maybe like, oh, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, bring those over as well. I don't think they're going to, unfortunately. And it really is a shame because if you just upscale those games, they can already look so good as well. All you have to do is just upscale them, change some of the UI, and sell them for $60 together on Switch. Free money. Metroid. The series that I feel so legitimately bad for all of its longtime fans because they get they get the short end of the stick just so often. And I really feel bad for Metroid fans who have especially been Metroid fans for a long time. I played Samus Returns. That's like my most experience with Metroid. I loved that game. And I think there's some good news for Samus Returns fans because brand new 2D Metroid developed by Samus Returns team, Mercury Steam. I think it's coming. There were rumors last year about it alongside a Paper Mario game, which that did come true. Mercury Steam is not Nintendo, so they can just kind of outsource it to them, and they did such a good job on Samus Returns, so I trust them to make a new 2D Metroid, and I think it's happening. I think that might be at E3, but I don't think that's all the Metroid news, because I also am going to make a foolish prediction and say Metroid Prime Trilogy HD again. I don't even know how many times I predicted this dumb, stupid collection, and I keep hearing, like apparently outsiders are saying, it's been done forever, but Nintendo just hasn't released it. I don't know if any of that is true. I don't know if this thing ever existed or if it's ever going to, but I'm saying it here again, Metroid Prime Trilogy. And let's go ahead and wrap up the anniversaries here with Donkey Kong, who is the big ape turning 40 this year. Big fella, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, 40 years. What a guy. I love Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's such a great character. And the fact that there are rumors going around that he could be getting a brand new game by Nintendo EPD, the guys that made Super Mario Odyssey, and that it could maybe, just maybe be 3D, excites the heck out of me. If that actually happens, that would be amazing. I'm just imagining this very luscious DK jungle kind of kingdom. Just like Odyssey, except put into the world of DK. Oh, it could be so good. Here's the thing though. I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I'm taking the pessimistic side here and saying even though I want it to be a 3D game so bad, I think it's gonna be a 2D game. And I think it's going to be a sequel to Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, of all games. Now, there's a few reasons I say this. First of all, it's because there's information about this game that is a little bit indecisive. Some people are saying, oh yeah, 2D for sure. Others saying, maybe 3D. The sources that I trust the most are saying 2D though, and I think it makes sense, especially when you look at the fact that a Nintendo EPD, which is led by Yoshiaki Koizumi, he was the, I think, producer on Odyssey, but he was director back when Jungle Beat came out, and he was a designer on that too, so that's actually basically his baby. You also got to think about, they're probably not going to take over Retro's Country series because they've already done 2 games in that, and Nintendo EPD probably doesn't want to bar themselves to conforming to a vision of other people. I think if we're going to get a 3rd Country game, it's going to be by Retro after Metroid Prime 4. I'm not 100% sure on Jungle Beat, but I'm pretty sure. Like, I think it's going to be Jungle Beat or some brand new take on 2D Donkey Kong. One of the two, I think. I don't think it's going to be 3D as much as I would love that. Staying pessimistic on this one, but I do for sure think that it's happening. There have been too many sources collaborating on this. They might not be eye to eye on 2D or 3D, but like everyone's saying, new Donkey Kong is coming. It's kind of like with the Mario anniversary last year, everyone was saying that. I think that's what's going to happen. It's basically, outside of Breath of the Wild 2, the one thing I think is a shoo-in to be at E3 the most. New Nintendo Switch Pro. You finally show your new shiny little face. I think, yeah, this thing has to exist at this point, right? Like, all the rumors have been collaborating this as well. And from what I can tell behind the scenes, what people are saying is that they keep moving it back, and Nintendo just doesn't seem to want to reveal it, even though they've had it set to reveal a few times now, but they just didn't. So I think E3 is probably where it's going to be revealed at this point. They're running out of time to reveal it if it is true that they're going to go into production this summer. So yeah, I think it could be revealed at E3, as much as I was against that idea once I started hearing the rumors before E3, because historically, past few years, Nintendo has strayed away from doing hardware at E3. But I mean, this is a non-conventional E3, so who really cares, I guess? I don't know. I think it's going to soft launch in September or October. I'm leaning towards September with Donkey Kong Jungle Beat 2, the new Donkey Kong game. I think that's going to be the tie-in for it. And the reason I say this is for 2 reasons. First of all, Breath of the Wild 2, up in the air when that game is going to release, and we'll get more into that in a minute. And I also think to combat system shortages, because if you do release that with Breath of the Wild 2, everyone's going to want to Switch Pro to play Breath of the Wild 2 in 4K. I think, like, yeah, that would be a mess. I'm looking at you, PS5 and Xbox Series X. So yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of a soft launch like the PS5 and Xbox Series X, where like there's not going to be a lot of units available at launch, but there's not going to be a huge new game that everyone wants the system to play it on for the best experience right there at launch either. So that'll kind of help ease that a little bit. Here's a divisive one, Mario Kart 9. People seem like very opinionated on if this is happening or not, and I used to be on the side of no. I didn't think that Mario Kart 9 was something we would see anytime soon. 8 was doing so well, and I thought maybe DLC at some point, but at this point I don't even know. I think 9 is actually more in the cards than DLC at this point. And while some might think it's wishful thinking, I do think it could be this year it's released. I mean, Yabuki and the KART team, what have they been up to since ARMS in 2017? And yeah, there's a fun little fact for those of you that didn't know. The ARMS team is actually also the Mario Kart team. But the more I think about it, the more it makes sense, you know, right? Like, it's been 4 years at this point since then. Mario Kart 8 just turned like 70 years old. Actually 7, but it feels like 70. And yeah, I think it might actually be time for Mario Kart 9. And I think based on what I'm about to tell you, it makes sense that that would be a game to come out this year. Breath of the Wild 2. This will be the final trailer of the Direct. A new trailer showcasing gameplay and story elements. Maybe the Spectral Hand, maybe a new overworld. I don't exactly know. Maybe a new playable Zelda. But I think that will be the last trailer of the day. And I think it's going to get a name and a spring 2022 release date. I don't think this game is going to make it this year. I've been shifting my perspective every like 2 weeks with when this game is going to come out. And ever since that video, the State of Zelda video, I was at a 50-50 shot there. Since then, I've come down to maybe a 20-80 shot of it coming out this year, like a 20% shot that it might come out this year. But I'm thinking next year. Early next year probably, but next year. And of course that leaves room for Mario Kart 9 if that actually is a thing that's happening. And if you look at the schedule here, based on the games that I predicted here for this Direct and where they could maybe align on that schedule, it's pretty full. Like, it's a pretty good lineup. Mario Golf this month, Skyward Sword next, Metroid Prime Trilogy in August. In September, you have the new Switch and DK. In October, Fire Emblem and Kirby. In November, Pokemon, Metroid, and maybe Mario Kart 9. Maybe that'll be pushed into December, one of the two. But it's a pretty full schedule, actually. And it's a pretty good one, and that's not even taking into account the Breath of the Wild 2 is early next year. Splatoon 3 is also on the calendar for next year. What's Monolith doing? I didn't even mention them here because I don't think they're going to show up here, but I think they are actively working on something for next year. And who knows, maybe we'll even get a new Mario game next year too. Make it 2017 Part 2, yeah? And that's my predictions for the Direct. That's my predictions for Nintendo the next year. But that's not where the predictions end for this E3. Nintendo Treehouse Live, for those of you that don't remember, and how could you not remember, that it's so memorable. I love Treehouse so much. I'm so glad they started there all those years ago. But Treehouse is a place where Nintendo Treehouse employees, the people that work in a way, get together and do some gameplay demos at E3 of the new games that were shown off at E3. It's basically a bunch of demos. Now, in the past, Treehouse at E3 has always been a live event that was on the show floor and just a whole big part of the experience, really. It's part of what makes E3 to me, really. You have the Nintendo employees up there just playing the games live for everybody. Everybody's down in the booth trying to play the games, even though the lines are way too long and you don't even get to play the games, but you have the Treehouse people playing the games. And I love it so much. The problem here is that this is usually split across all 3 days of E3, and they go for like 5 to 8 hours every day. So you get a lot of gameplay out of that. Like, it's a good showcase of all these different games. But when Nintendo unveiled their E3 plans this year, I was a little underwhelmed at the 3 hours of Treehouse they would be doing. Now, I find it interesting that, at least from what I've seen, not a lot of people are bringing this up, and they're like, oh yeah, we're still getting Treehouse, that's awesome. But I look at the amount of time they're doing Treehouse, and I'm like, you're not nearly going to be able to show off what you did in the past years. Like, I think for 2016 and Breath of the Wild, that game was shown off alone for 4 hours, which is longer than all of their Treehouse time combined this time. And to make matters kind of worse is that this E3 is all online. There's no show floor where the public get to play games or press get to play games. I'm sure that there's going to be some press meetings for them to play games somehow, but like, a lot of the footage you're usually going to see and everything, and impressions and everything, is not going to be there. So people are going to be clinging to Treehouse more than ever, and it's just not going to be there nearly as long and show as much information this time, which I find really weird. Now, in the past years of E3, Treehouse has definitely like retread the same ground before with demos. Like, they played the same demo twice, or like gone over a game multiple times, which could just be like, oh, they're cutting that down and making it so it's just like the most important stuff all crammed into 3 hours, so like everyone can watch it. But I don't know, like 3 hours, maybe if it was 5 or if it was 8, or just like at least 1 day's length of a normal E3. 3 hours just seems like too little time if they're actually going to have the amount of stuff that I predict here, or like the amount of stuff they probably should show. Because like, whereas Nintendo's games been lately? They've actually not been publishing a lot of new games lately. It's been a lot of remakes and everything. That's a whole separate tangent, but yeah. This is the most disappointing thing to me about E3 so far this year, which is just that Treehouse is not going to be nearly as long. But I mean, maybe that's just a blessing in disguise, because if they do show off Breath of the Wild 2 footage, then I won't have to go through 4 hours of it and do a whole analysis of all that, you know? So maybe it's just a blessing in disguise. But anyway, to wrap things up, here's how I think the schedule could play out. They're probably going to start with Breath of the Wild 2. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but I definitely think that will be what they kick off with. They will go from the trailer right into the Treehouse, kind of like they did in 2016. And then after that, maybe some Donkey Kong Jungle Beat footage where they play that. Metroid, Mercury's Theme, maybe some Prime in there too. I think that they can maybe do both in one section for that 15-15 on the minutes. It's all 30-minute sections, by the way. Fire Emblem Echoes, to be honest with you guys, I'm so excited for this game if it actually is true, like another Echoes game. Shadows of Valentia might just be my favorite Fire Emblem game, so if they can like recreate that magic again with the genealogy of the Holy War Echoes game, man, we're in for a treat. After that, I was conflicted if they would go for another section for Breath of the Wild 2. I feel like they need to, like if they are going to show off the game at all, they need to at least give us 2 separate gameplay demos. Maybe they could both be 15 minutes long. I guess that would work. But I also thought maybe Splatoon 3, because that just seems like a really easy game to demo to me, because it seems like they already have the basis of the game playable based on the first trailer. So I think that would be a cool game to demo during Treehouse as well. And then you gotta end with a bang, so Mario Kart 9 is what I put for the last section. I think that could be where we go, because that's gonna be the big game this year, based on my predictions. Like I said, I feel like I'm going a little safe this year, but at the same time, if this is what actually happens, I would be so hyped for it. Like, this is actually a really good lineup. Of course, it hurts to not have Breath of the Wild 2 this year if that is what happens, but you still get it early next year. So, like, if that is what's happening, whoopee. As I said at the beginning, I don't think a lot of what I said here is what's going to actually happen. Maybe Breath of the Wild 2 is a holiday game. That'd be amazing. But, we're just gonna have to wait and find out. It's not long now, my friends. I hope you're as excited as I am. And hey, if you are excited and looking for even more stuff to hype you up before E3, we did a whole discussion where me and just a bunch of other great Zelda creators got together and had a great time talking about what Zelda could look like at E3. So if you want more talk about that, I suggest go check out the stream, which is on the channel right now. It was a really fun time, and I'm just so excited, you know. Most of the Zelda talk is over there, so if you missed that in this video, this is more of a general predictions thing, so you can go check that out too. And of course, stay tuned to the channel for the Direct on Tuesday. I will be live streaming it right here on YouTube. All our E3 stuff this year is going to be on YouTube, because I thought it's going to be easier for you guys to access it. We're probably going to go back to regular streams on Twitch after E3, because I do like to keep streams and videos separate, and I do like Twitch as a platform. But I thought for E3, since you guys probably going to want to see this stuff, I want it right front and center. Gonna do it all on YouTube before we go back to Twitch. So yeah, tune in here Tuesday 12 EDT for my reaction to the Nintendo Direct. I am so excited. Finally, as always, guys, you can find me on Twitter at XenogamerYT, join the Discord server with the link in the description below, and streams on Twitch, except for this week, as I said. You guys have yourselves a great day, and get excited, because I think we have some pretty exciting stuff coming very soon. Until then, my friends, bye-bye.